All right. Are we live? It looks like we are. Okay, so I'm going to attempt a totally new strategy at forge building. Whoa, sorry. I'm leaning on that table. Anyways, like I said, I'm going to attempt a totally new strategy at forge building tonight. In the past, I've built this forge, and it was 12 pieces, all right? So the difference this go around is that instead of 12 pieces, I'm going to reduce it down to 2 pieces using my Crossfire Systems Langmuir Systems Crossfire Pro. That's the thing about these live things. You know, when you screw it all up and get everything backwards, there's no takebacks, really. So anyways, right now I've got a piece of 1/8 inch on there. I've got a piece of diamond plate or tread plate. And the thing about this is this thing will come down before it cuts and it touches off and it checks the height. So it's going to be very important when I cut that I do it with all of the bumps down. That way it doesn't accidentally touch one of the high points and then do a terrible job cutting. So I'll put all those bumps facing down. I'm going to try out, I've been having some issues with my table. Not the table. The table's working great. The software, I've been struggling a little bit, and so I've got some suggestions from Langmuir Systems. They suggested that I try a new USB cord. So I'm going to try that. Also, some guys had been telling me some procedures, which I forget the order. I don't know if, depending on the order of, like, if I plug it in first, then try to start the fire control software, if that makes a difference, but we'll find out. So, let's go ahead and boot up. In the process, of trying to get my laptop here to be to date so that I could not have so much problems with the fire control software, I updated the BIOS, I updated the graphics drivers, I updated like everything because a lot of my drivers were not up to date. And now my keyboard backlight doesn't work, which it's just a backlight, but it's a really cool one. You know, it glows and does all those different colors, and I'm a little bummed, but not to the point where I'm willing to like factory reset the laptop just to get that back. I think maybe someday I'll figure it out, but honestly, it is what it is. So I'm going to stop rambling. Let's try to find a good spot for you guys to hang out while I get this thing up and running. Hope you can hear. We'll just put you back over here. And I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Got a brand new USB cable. I'm going to hook this up. Alright, so I'm plugged in to the fire control software, or to the control. So, if you have any questions, I think I can see them. Let's see. Top chat, live chat. I'm going to switch to live so I see everybody's. Super chat. Pff. Ha! I'm not some superstar. I'm not going to be getting super chats. At least not yet. Anyways, I just set it so I can see all chats. So I'm guessing if you send me a message, it should pop up there. I'll try to keep an eye on this from time to time. If you have any questions about the table, I've had it for about a month now, so I'm pretty familiar with it. But I mean, you can see the software still hasn't loaded. And I've been talking, well, the video's been going for 4 minutes. I clicked on it at least a minute ago. And you can see the only thing on the screen is my prototype belt grinder. My top secret one that nobody's ever seen before. Oh, while we wait for that to load. This is the not so top secret one. This is the... that one back there, I designed that one and it was going to cost way too much. So I had to bring it down a notch. And this here might be too high as far as like you know, people only pay a lot of money if they, you know, if you have a huge reputation, like Alex Steele. You know, Alex Steele could sell a $4,000 grinder and people would buy it. Richard Beck, me, I can't sell a $4,000 grinder. I can't sell a $2,000 grinder unless it's to my friends who believe in the stuff that I do. Um, so I'm trying to find that, you know, perfect price point. And this one here at 1300, it's a little bit on the salty side for some guys, but it's got all the features and it's going to work really, really well. Um, and I'm not quite done with it. I do have a buyer, actually more than one buyer lined up for this, so I'm going to have to make more of these as fast as I can, but it takes a long time just because I've been really busy. And then down here, it's my 7-inch drive wheel. I need to broach it. Hey, look at there. It finally loaded. So, I'm not kidding when I say sometimes it takes 3 minutes just for that interface to load. And now you can see it's not fully loaded yet. Because up here, where it says height controller, there you go. Right here, it's not connected yet. And it doesn't show anything here. So we've been talking this whole time, and it still hasn't loaded. Of course, I said something, you know, on the Langmeyer Facebook page, because they've got all their tech people that monitor that, and I am like, I don't get why this software is so flaky. And, you know, a couple of people are like, well, hey, I've had mine for 6 months, never had a problem. So, I don't know. I don't know what's up. I don't know why mine seems to take forever to boot. Some people have said that, you know, there may be some EMI interference, but right now I don't even have the drives. This power here powers up the stepper drives. So sometimes, you know, if I turn that on, I feel like it creates EMI inside of there, which travels back down my USB to the laptop. Actually, the head guy on the Langmeyer Systems page told me that the reason I was having problems is because I was using a charger for my laptop that had 3 prongs on it. So I don't know about you, but I've never seen a laptop charger that doesn't have a ground. So he's like, oh, well, you gotta, you know, get an adapter that gets rid of that ground, because that's going to basically cause the interference to be sucked through the laptop, yada, yada, yada. So I'm running straight battery. This is just the USB cable, just battery. Don't even have the charger plugged in, and it took, well, we're still not loaded yet. This video is going on 8 minutes. This is frustrating. This is really frustrating. You know, I get that I bought a, you know, an entry-level machine, and in a sense, I'm kind of a beta tester because of it. You know, if they totally had this software, you know, completely dialed in, it wouldn't be a $4,000 system. It'd be a $20,000 system. So I understand I shouldn't complain too much, you know, because the price I paid, I got what I paid for. Come on, when's it gonna load? Super frustrating. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to let you guys hang for a second. I'm going to load up a piece here, and then I'll bring up my CAD, and I'll show you exactly how I drew it up in order to cut this stuff out. So, hang tight. Still not loaded. I'm going to take the slag hammer. it knocks. Sometimes after cutting, you get some raised spots on the bed. You just knock them off. Just because I want to try to keep my workpiece flat. It helps really increase the quality of the cuts. Alright, let's see if I can jog. Okay, so what I'm going to do, it's still thinking about possibly connecting to the torch eye controller. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, I don't know. So I'm going to jog over here, find 0. Okay, get right up to the edge, and right up to the edge. Now I'm going to come down a little bit. So when I created this program, I only gave it a 1/4 inch of extra around the outside. So I got to be kind of accurate with where I set this, otherwise my part that I'm cutting will totally like go off the edge and it will ruin this entire piece. And then I'll have to drive and get a new piece, which will suck. So I don't want to mess this piece up. Okay. Alright, so I'm lined up right here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it to the other end because I know I'm only going to change my X. And we will make sure that I'm still lined up down there. And that's how I know I'm going to be square. Whoa! You see how I let off the keys and they just kept on going? Look at that. This is nuts. I'm trying to zero it out, but I can't because it's not done loading yet. Let's see, what's the time on this? We're 12 minutes into the video, and Crossfire still hasn't loaded. I don't know if I should try to restart it, because when I've tried to restart Crossfire, or Fire Control, when I try to restart Fire Control, a lot of times it won't let me reopen it unless I restart the entire computer. But this is ridiculous. Let's start over. Okay, so I went ahead and clicked on that. Now we just gotta wait. So while we wait, how's everybody doing? I guess, has anybody started any cool projects lately, you know? I have a problem where I start way too many projects, and that's typically that's my problem, is I get way too many. I get way too many projects going at one time. So now I'm just sitting out here waiting for Langmeyer Systems Crossfire or Fire Control software interface to load. Kids are sleeping, wife's at work. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, I'm going to hit Control-Alt-Delete, and I'm going to see if it's actually running in the background. Yep, it's trying. It's trying to load, but it's not going to. I guess I have to restart. I should have gone live on the Langmeyer Systems Facebook page just so they can see, and maybe somebody could walk me through what's wrong with this thing. I mean, the laptop is an Asus TUF 505 or FX 505 DU. It's a gaming laptop. I can run Inventor with large assemblies. I can edit video. I do all my YouTube video editing on this because it's faster than my desktop. It's a Ryzen 7. I think it's a quad core. It's not the Ryzen 9, but it's still a decent computer. And it's brand new. I got all the updates. All the drivers are updated. And because first they said, oh, maybe your drivers aren't updated. Oh, well, maybe this isn't, or maybe that isn't. I literally did everything they said to do. And I still have problems. And it's not the computer, because the computer runs everything else fine. The computer will load Inventor just fine. It will load Sony Vegas, is what I use for editing video. It loads that just fine. Now, I feel like the computer runs faster plugged in, but the guy from Langmeyer Systems says I can't have it plugged in the charger while I run this because it won't work. If that's true, that's a really stupid thing. I mean, there's no reason. Okay, so let's try again. I really want to show you guys the cutting and stuff. You know what I think is what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and try to launch Fire Control. And while Fire Control is launching, I'll pull up Inventor. And now Inventor, because I don't have internet out here, it will open very slowly. Because it's trying to, communicate with the license. So might as well just start that now. Single bar forge. Let me show you. We'll load that. And we'll load Fire Control. You guys can hang out right there on the table. Maybe. All right. This is the only downside about the live videos. When I edit videos, I just cut out all this dead air time. A lot of people don't understand how long it takes to make a video. I had issues running Fusion 360, Carbide, Create, Carbide, Motion. Hey, it's going away. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, wait, okay. Sorry, for a sec. I started reading, and then all of a sudden the message fades away. I want it to stay on there. No, I gotta, apparently, sorry. However, you just said you have gaming Asus like my new laptop. Try USB loop isolator. They're cheap. USB, okay. USB ground loop isolator. I'm gonna have to look into that. The USB cable it came with had these I think they're like ferrite things. Let me grab it. So, this is a USB cable that it came with. And it's got these little, clamp on, I think they're supposed to, reduce EMI. And then they gave me one with the system. They said loop it 3 times and clamp it on. So I've got a bunch of these, but I don't think this isn't a ground loop isolator, is it? I'm guessing a ground loop isolator is something that plugs in here and then somehow goes to ground. I'll Google it. I'm pretty good with Google. But thanks for the heads up. I will try it. I might try to put this thing back on and see. It looks like we're starting to get somewhere here. Looks like Fire Control and Inventor pop up. Now, Inventor always takes a little bit to load when I'm in the shop because I don't have internet. Try USB ground loop isolator. They're cheap. Ferrite Choke. Yes, the Ferrite Choke. That's different. Okay, so that's what these are. These are the Ferrite Chokes. And they gave me 2 of these. And the fact that they gave me an additional one after it already had 2 of them on there, I started thinking, man, how much EMI is going to be coming back into my laptop if I'm supposed to be running 3 of these things? Yeah. Okay. So, let's see here. Inventor's opening up. I'm going to show you guys the actual forge. I have it mostly designed. I didn't, since this was like just for me, I didn't go ahead and like add everything. So, oh, I also don't have my 3D mouse, so this is like, moving this around is going to be really hard for me. I'm so used to having a 3D mouse, I always design with 2 hands. I never just use 1 hand. So now I'm down to just a touchpad. So I guess you just kind of look at it. So basically, this whole entire diamond plate thing is all one piece now. It used to be the side was a piece, the top was a piece. This was angle iron, and then I had a piece there, and the same on the other end. And then the bottom was a flat plate with angle iron, and then a piece and a piece. So I've literally taken like a ton of parts, and I put it into one part. And let me show you here what this looks like if I make it a flat pattern. So if I open this up, yeah, you guys can still see what's going on. Okay, so go to flat pattern. So that's the flat pattern. And you can see, that's what I do here. I'm really bad without all my mice. So I'm going to cut these little loops here. That way I can bend it by hand. And then I'm just going to weld that back up. Ooh, I think I should use this for zooming. All right, so that's my piece when it's flat. And that's the great thing about Inventor. You design sheet metal stuff and you just say flat pattern, boom, it's flat. And then you export that into Inventor Cam, which, can I flip this camera around? Oh, sweet. And I can look through the camera and we can both look at the same thing at once. All right, so, oh, I've got the stupid glare. There's really no way to get rid of that. It's going to be there everywhere. I'll just try to hold it still. So, let's go back. I'll show you how the cam stuff works. Let me close this. So, forge burner, cut out bottom. No, to the top. So this is the piece. Let me get a top view here. So, you can see those little lines right here. I added those lines because they're part of the program. So, if I go over here, the first thing I'm going to do is that's my tool path right there. And then the second tool path will be to cut the holes out. And then the third will cut the entire profile. So with Inventor, I can go up here and I can simulate it. I'll show you what's actually going to happen via simulation here. So you can kind of see it moving. And the nice thing about simulation, you can make sure you didn't miss anything and kind of watch it. So this is what's going to happen with the large piece of tread plate right there. Right now, I'm just trying to cut this little piece. So that's that program. Anyway, I've already created all the programs and exported all the programs. I just need to get them to load in Fire Control. Okay, look, so we are fully up and running. So this has been 24 minutes now that I've been trying to get this up and running, and it has loaded. So let's go ahead and try to load a program. Now this is where it could all still go bad. Oh no! I'm gonna try to talk loudly because that compressor has to run so that I can cut. So I'm gonna let it run. Okay, so now that that's shut off, you can see it's trying to load, and as I can already see, this is just the outside perimeter. So I tend to do this a lot. When I go to export my program, I don't have the whole thing selected. I'll just have like one line of it selected, and then it doesn't export the whole thing. So I got to quick jump back into Inventor, and we have to export this. So I guess you guys can see that process as I do it. So we got to go back into Inventor, and I've got to export the program. So sometimes if I just have that toolpath highlighted when I export, it's only going to export that toolpath. If I go to the very top of the program, and now I post it out, one or more operations are invalid. What? Maybe that's what my problem was. Let's check this. Generate toolpath. Maybe I just need to regenerate the toolpaths real quick. Generate toolpath. Okay, so now all my toolpaths have been regenerated. Go back to the top one. Let's post out this program. So there's my settings. I'm going to be cutting 63 thou. Was my cut height, spring back, delay. That's probably a smidge long for 11 gauge. I could probably do 0.6 or 0.7, but I don't care. I'd rather make sure it cuts all the way through. I do always turn, I turn this up. The default is 100 inches per minute feed rate, but overall, nothing fancy there. So let's post this. It's under single burner forge, but it's actually the 4-burner bottom. 4-burner forge cutout bottom. Yes, I want to replace it. Let's go back to fire control. Hey, look, it loaded, but I don't want that one. I want to reload it. And I want to get the one we just created. Whoa, see, look how fast. That looks like it's going to go fast now. I don't know, it's like this thing's got to warm up or something. I don't know. Sorry for that light. There we go. I guess if I were up here like this, I just got to make it focus. So it's thinking and thinking. It's crazy. This is like a Ryzen 7, 32 gigs of RAM. It's got a gaming graphics card. People say they're running this software, this fire control software, on like 10-year-old laptops. But somehow, on my brand new laptop, it runs like this. You know what I can do? No, I can't. I was going to jog the table around to make sure my piece is lined up. But I can't do that right now because it's thinking. You can't do anything when it's thinking. This is not a big program either. When I first bought the table, the thing worked great. I would run big programs. The thing is, it's only been 3 weeks since I bought it, or since I ran my first program. So I don't. How could the degradation happen this fast? All right. Well, there's not really anything to see there. Let me flip this around. Put you guys back over here on the table. Yeah, I can't jog right now, the table. I am going to move my ground clamp because I'm going to have to cut all the way over here, and it might hit the ground clamp and cause some problems. Runs like that. Really powerful MacBook Pro 2. Man, that's a bummer. I was hoping it was just me, and there was something that I could do to fix it. Man. I mean, yeah, look at that. It's still loading that program. Now, there have been times where I've turned off the drives below, and I feel like the program runs a lot faster. And the only thing that could cause that is if there's electromagnetic interference inside their control cabinet. Which, by the way, when I first got this, one of the screws had fallen out of the power supply, and so I had to take this cover off. Yeah, hopefully. I'm really, really excited for 20.5. You and me both. When I took this cover off to put the screw back in, oh, and to install it, you got to take the cover off. I noticed they have all of their DC drives like right. I'm sorry, and then they got the power supply right there. No kind of like dividers. Hopefully, they have enough electronics to drain all of the EMI that comes off those stepper drives and that power supply. But honestly, I feel like that's part of the problem. And sometimes I flip the little switch down here, and I've gotten like the computer to start responding faster. But I don't know. It's still thinking. We're basically all beta testers. Beta testers who paid a whole bunch of money to be beta testers. Um, but I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I really like the table. I just hate the freaking software. Some people are like, "Oh, you should use Mach 3." Well, I probably could, but I don't know that Mach 3 communicates with like their custom control board. And I don't know enough about Mach 3 to set up like a custom setup like that. I think someday I might dig in a little bit and learn a little bit more about the drives that they have because the stepper motors are a bit small. I have missed a couple steps, like they've lost steps, and then everything from that point on is like off. And the reason it happened is I was cutting in that top corner and it was a little bit tight up there, and it lost a step. But then after that, I made a program that just cut a whole bunch of circles and to basically break it in, and it just sat there and like just moved for like 35 minutes, and that loosened everything up a little bit. Still loading. I'm gonna try to turn off the power to the drives and see if sometimes that helps it load faster. Alright, so I'm still hooked up. I did not unplug the USB. I want to hook my my battery charger up because sometimes I feel like a lot of laptops have two different performance settings. One set of performance parameters is based on plugged in and charging. The other set of performance standards is based on when you run on batteries. So I like the idea of running it with a charger, but I guess one of the owners or something who was on the Facebook page told me that I couldn't run the charger, my laptop charger, while I'm running fire control. Otherwise, the torch height controller won't work. I don't understand. That sounds like a design problem. Who doesn't want to run their laptop with it plugged in? I don't know. I always run my laptop plugged in unless I can't. What about you guys? When you guys have a laptop and you're like on it, do you like have it plugged in? Or do you let the battery die every time? I don't know. Still thinking. I don't know. We may or may not get to cut this tonight. I think at some point I'm going to call it. I do have to work tomorrow. Some issues with everything. Laptop powers. Oh. Yeah, because I know that low frequency EMI, like in the audio frequencies, you only ground one end of the shield. In the audio world, to eliminate EMI, you never ground two ends. You never ground both ends of a shield because that creates you can create a loop. But for higher frequency EMI, you totally ground both ends. So I don't know. I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt and not run the charger while doing this. I also he suggested that I should get, those little adapters that you plug into the 3-prong. It only has 2 coming out. To do that. Or I could just take a pliers and bust off the 3rd prong. I don't like doing that, but, back in the day, I moved in, when I first got married, I was living in this really old, dumpy house. It was a foreclosure that had been on the market for a long time, and I was a single guy at the time, and I had no money. I had a bunch of college debt. I needed a house. So I bought this, 100-year-old house, and every plug in there, every outlet in that house only had 2 prongs. So I was busting those busting off ground prongs all the time. And that was, that was back then, So I'm not above it, but I don't want to do it. You know what? I think I got an adapter right here. Oh, nope. I thought because this was like super long that it had an adapter, but it doesn't. Anyways, I don't know. It's still like, do I risk just restarting fire control? I don't want to do that. I've had times where I unplug the USB and then it works. Might as well. What do I got to lose? Look at that. Instantly, as soon as I unplugged this USB cable from the control board, boom, it instantly finished working. So it's not my dang laptop, okay? What the world? As soon as I unplugged this, it worked. Well, wait a second. I take it back. It's still processing. It just, the gray screen went away. Never mind. I got excited. Man, I was really hopeful there. I thought I had a solution. I don't know. I don't know. It's probably worse if I plug it back in. Because if I plug in, unplug, plug in, unplug, that's going to make this thing do more things while it's trying to already think. But if I don't plug it back in, I'm going to get that timeout error. Has anybody ever tried loading fire control completely not plugged in, getting your program all loaded up, and then plugging into the system? Can't be a problem with the processing power of the RAM. There must be buggy software. I hope too. I really hope. I mean, please come out with 20.5. I can't. Here's the thing. They will figure it out. I'm confident they will figure it out at some point. And that's why I don't want to be too... I don't want to just create a YouTube channel that flames and hates on Langmuir. Because they got a good thing going. I mean, they are going to open up the world, the fabrication world, to guys like us. I mean, better than anybody else out there. Because you've got... I checked. Lincoln sells their like 3 foot by 4 or 4 foot by 4 foot table for like $20,000. I requested a quote. I was like blown away. There's no way a hobbyist is going to spend 20 grand unless you just got money to blow. Yeah, it does need to work. It's frustrating when it doesn't, And sometimes I'm like, man, it's a good thing I didn't get on this bandwagon in January. Because I was on the forums, and I see all kinds of like, oh, well, take your board out, unsolder this resistor, solder this, resistor back into place. No. I'm not doing that. Are you kidding me? If they say, oh, we sold you a faulty product, and you have to like take it apart and unsolder, itty bitty micro resistors and put different ones in my opinion, I would send it back and have them do it, Which I'll give it to them. On the forum it said, if you're uncomfortable with this, send it back and they'll take care of it. But I hope this is a software problem, not a hardware problem. And then when they come out with 20.5, it's just smooth. I'm going to try to power up the drives again, so maybe I can... I'm considering, like, just turning off the laptop. I mean, trying to start over. What's the time? 41 minutes. I still haven't been able to cut. 41 minutes of messing with this to get this freaking program to run. This is crazy. All right, I'm gonna exit. I don't know what you're validating. Keep saying validating program, but I'm gonna close down everything here, and then I'm gonna try to. Does anybody know? Does fire control have to be able to communicate to the internet to validate this stuff? Because if it does, that's definitely my problem. I'm out here in the shop where I have almost zero internet connection. I'm blown away that I'm able to do this. Oh, this is 4G. You guys are not on the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi doesn't reach out here. So my data is just going way up. I'm going to Control-Alt-Delete this. I mean, check this out. Flip you guys around. Okay, for something that's been struggling for like 20 minutes to do something, and you're only using 5% CPU and 600 power usage low. I mean, it's clearly it's not responding. You know, it's not even utilizing the computer at all. 2.7%. Anyways, let's Control-Alt-Delete this. Gonna give it the boot, but right before we do that, let's double check, make sure it didn't finish. It did not. So we're gonna give Langmeyer Systems the boot. Lots of boots. Come on, crash. There we go. I don't know. I might just have to call it a night. Well, hey guys, thanks for hanging out. It's been fun. I wish I could have, actually cut the piece. But we're on 45 minutes, and I don't see this getting any better. I don't have a clue. I guess I'm going to get on the... Next time I'm going to stream, I'm just going to go live on Langmeyer's support page. And, because there's a ton of guys over there that do this every time. On my YouTube channel, there's only like 30 of you guys that, subscribed after watching the table video. The rest of my 8,000 subscribers, they just want to watch Glock videos. I love you guys too, but I'm probably not going to be doing any more Glock videos. I don't own a Glock anymore, and YouTube basically is incredibly strict when it comes to the Pew videos. Every single time I make a video that has anything to do with these things, they basically they penalize me by kind of burying all my other videos. So it's kind of like they're saying you can do it, but we're gonna hit you. We're gonna slap you around a little bit if you do. And I'm not allowed to take off a slide. I'm not allowed to say, hey, if your gun doesn't work, do this. they grandfathered my other videos, but if you show any type of modification, even if it's fixing something that's like a design flaw on a gun, they're going to flag it because you're modifying guns. Anyways, I'm going to head out, guys. It's been fun hanging out. We're going to call it here because this Langmeyer Systems table is not going to run tonight. So I will see you later. Thanks for hanging out.